Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode. This is a Motivational Monday, and this is ROI versus ROL.
Yeah.
That is not a typo.
And I'm going to give you credit for this podcast episode because you're the one that actually forwarded me the email that kind of talked about this topic, and we're like, oh, this ties into a lot of our beliefs. Anyway, and we've talked about this previously on a podcast, just not in this way. So why don't you start with a story?
So we get these emails every week from Harvey McKay.
Yeah.
And check him out. If you have not ever heard of him, you should. Check him out. You must check him out. Check him out. He's got an email that he sends out every week, and it's great emails. This guy knows everybody. Literally everybody. And so this one came out. It actually came out last week, I think, but I finally had a chance to read it this morning, and I read it and I was like, oh my gosh. And I immediately sent it over to you. I was like, this is a great one. And it's ROI versus ROL. And everyone knows what ROI stands for.
Yeah. Return on investment.
Right.
It's used when talking about money.
Absolutely. But ROL, I was like, what is ROL? And ROL stands for?
Return on life.
Right, that's the ROL.
Yes.
And he talks more in this email about the importance of, you don't go to school, just for a little bit when you're growing up. You go to school your entire life.
That's right.
And make sure that you're always learning.
Yep.
It's just, I love this. I love that article, and I was like, we have to do an episode on this.
Yeah. So the thing that hit me really was that the difference between tasks, goals, and purpose, and how he talked about a lot of people are very task oriented. They wake up in the morning and they get up and they've got tasks. I got to
do this, and this today.
It's their list, and I'm a list maker too, and I love checking off the box. In fact, yesterday, Flip had some to-dos that he had to do, and I went to erase them so that I could help him plan for tomorrow. No. And he goes, "What?
You have to mark those as done."
Yes, So I put them back, and we marked them off.
Even if I have a task that gets canceled, I still mark it as being done.
That's messed up.
Yeah, no,
because you didn't do it.
Yes. It was on my list and it was completed.
So, anyway, some people are very task oriented, and even if you're a list maker, that doesn't mean that you're task oriented. It just means that's how you get it's how you achieve things. So, don't mistake the two. There are people in life that are just about tasks and tasks only. There's nothing bigger.
Yep.
If you're a list maker, you likely have bigger goals and ideas. That's the second one, was he talked about goals. Some people are just after goals, and they're looking to achieve that particular goal. And then the third was people have a purpose. And they said the people that have the best return on life are the people that have a purpose. They're doing something for a purpose. And that rang true to me because we talked about our purpose in a previous podcast, and it very much starts with our team and everything that we want to do for them and how we treat them and how we want to allow them to live a life, high quality life, and give back to the causes that they care about. And then talking about our investors and how there's even people that are like, hey, I want to raise hundreds of millions of dollars like we do, but they want to go to a hedge fund and get it. Well, we don't want to go to a hedge fund. We actually want to help other people, investors like us,
our people,
like get good returns through stable investment. So our purpose is the team and the investors and that concept, and we talk about it a lot. And it is true that yes, we're task oriented because we create lists, but we're also goal oriented, and those goals are very much focused and in line with the purpose that we have. And it does help us get up in the morning because it is a return that you feel fulfilled.
Yep.
We talk about many times about how we used to have a coaching program, and we stopped because it was not fulfilling. People literally paid us thousands and thousands of dollars and didn't do what we told them to do. We said, what are you doing? I feel guilty taking your money when you're not doing what I'm telling you to do to be successful.
In fact, that actually ended up being the opposite because it wasn't fulfilling. It was actually draining.
It was draining, yes. So our purpose now, it is very fulfilling in what we're doing because we see it coming true. Everything that we want to do, will it come true in our lifetime? I don't know, but the vision of the team to keep on going and taking it there, I do hope it comes to true in our lifetime. We say you underestimate what you can do in 10 years years and overestimate what you can do in a year. I think within 10 years, we will have achieved everything that we want to, especially in light of everything that we got going on in 2023. Hello.
Yep.
So the other thing that you want to mention is he talked about how he divides up his life, like half and quarter.
Yeah. So was that him or was that Nito?
I think. I can't remember.
So anyway, so one of the people that he talks about in this article is Nito Cobain. Cobain, I think that's how you pronounce it. And if you don't know who that is, you need to check out him.
He's amazing.
Nito is the president of High Point University, and I think that's in South Carolina. It's in one of the Carolinas, but I know it's High Point University. Nito actually came to this country with like $20 or something like that. It was something stupid, and he didn't even speak English.
Yeah.
And so I remember the story about him talking about anything is possible, like we talked about on the other episode.
Yeah.
He would write an English word on one side, and on the other side the definition of it, and that's how he learned the English language. This guy's beyond. I mean, and he's amazing.
Incredibly intelligent, incredibly wealthy.
Yep. So anyway, so they talked about half your, not half your day, but half your time,
half your life.
Half your life is
spent earning like years.
Earning, yeah, because you need to earn.
Yeah,
and you have to earn.
In order to give, you have to earn.
Yeah, exactly. They have to.
Yeah, it goes
have to make it to give it.
That's right.
And then one quarter is just on the giving and the
giving back, volunteering, and he really talked about the importance of volunteering. And then the other quarter
was on stay in school.
Investing in
always
yourself.
Learning. Always learning, no matter what it is, and learning a new what was it? I can't remember what it was. He learned not a new language, but like if he was going to a new country on a vacation, he would spend time just learning about that culture and about where he was going. And so it's always learning about things with a purpose. But just the whole article is awesome. If you want the article, I can actually forward you the article, and then you can sign up for this for Harvey's email list, because I love them. They're great. There's some are that one's good, but some are like, whoa, this is a great one. You know, so
Flip forwards them to me every single month, and I know when he writes something at the top, it's a good one. Because sometimes he just press forward, and sometimes he goes, oh, this is a really good one. So he said that today, and so we read it this morning, literally, and we wanted to talk about it today because I think it's very, very powerful to understand that concept. And this just brings me back to when you look at wealthy people and people who are incredibly successful, you see how they surround themselves with people who are at the next level, and how they pay for masterminds and coaches and in groups, and they pay a lot of money to be a part of bigger things in themselves so they can continue on growing. There's people with that mindset of it's not good use of your money. And it's the exact opposite of what successful people tell. They say, I just saw a post from a friend of ours, and she's like, I spend $20,000 a month on, I've got like 6 coaches and masterminds, and she's like skyrocketed since she started spending that type of money. She's skyrocketed her business, and it is a mindset, right? You have to understand that is not a cost; it is an investment in yourself and in your future. And we certainly wouldn't be here without surrounding ourselves with the type of people that we have. And we're grateful to be where we are, and we're continuing to grow because we continue to up level who we're surrounding ourselves with.
That's right.
So pretty cool, great article. Thanks for sharing it, Flip.
Oh, my pleasure. Love it. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, and join the Investor Club. Make sure you're catching us in there. Make sure you see what we're doing, because we've got a lot of stuff going on in there right now. Make sure you're checking out us out on all the social media, whatever those things are called.
Platforms.
Those two. But we like to end all of our episodes with
Invest smart.
Live happy.
Bye everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit and loss.